I'm Steve Wilkens. I work with Syngenta on the Golden Harvest brand where I manage our agronomy team. I also farm with my parents in southeast Wisconsin.
So I'm Steve Sterchi, head of product strategy for Syngenta North America, and actually have a farm in southern Illinois.
So for this year, we're sitting here end of February, beginning of March, and it appears as if it's going to be an early spring, which will be good. On top of that, we had a really good fall last year, so we're expecting an earlier spring, and right now, it looks like it'll be favorable conditions.
Yeah, as of course you sit here and you always think that the perfect spring is around the corner. This one does actually look like it's setting up to where we can start to plant pretty early and get in there and maybe go through. Now we'll have some unexpected, I'm sure, get thrown our way throughout the year, but as we sit and start to look at right now, we're pretty bullish about what this looks like.
So that'll vary a lot by region. Now, as we find ourselves here in 2024, commodity prices have really come down a lot. So I think growers will be a lot more conscious about cutting costs. And for some people, they might look at reduced tillage as a means to save some equipment, some time, some labor, and help make them more profitable. But we do have a lot of customers that no-till, and one of the things we do on our agronomy side is we work with them, and we make sure that if they're in a no-till practice, we match our practices with theirs to help them be more successful. So my family transitioned, as many Wisconsin farms have, from a dairy to a cash grain type operation. So years ago, we would be heavy tillage. We had a lot of manure, and we started to transition probably around 2005 to 2006 into a little bit of no-till. And fast forward until now, we pretty much transitioned exclusively where the vast majority of our farm is no-till. And we've done that for a multitude of reasons. You can look at labor savings, machinery savings. There is a time savings as well. We also thought it was the right thing to do from an environment standpoint, sustainability standpoint. And we're in an area where we actually benefited significantly from yield from adopting no-till practices as well.
And so personally, where we're at right now, we still do have a lot of conventional tillage that is part of our practices that we've incorporated in now. Of course, depending on the crop and what we have in there, we do more no-till, of course, on our double crop and as well as our soybeans. But for the most part, we're still conventional till. We have a lot of those heavy clays in that area too, so there's just some challenges that come along with it in our area.
One of the key things, if you're a no-till farmer, you really want to be looking at is it's likely when you're planting in spring, your soils might be a little bit cooler, might be a little bit wetter. So we really put a strong emphasis on what is our early season genetics like in terms of emergence, early season vigor. So from our research team, they put a lot of effort into making sure we know and we understand and we accurately can score what those key quality components are to help no-till growers get off to a really good start. As a commercial grower, you need that information, and you need to basically understand your farm and what those key parameters are, and I think that's a nice area to work with. I think there's a second component here. When you look at no-till situations, sometimes you can put yourself into a situation where you've got more weeds, and then you could have a more diverse insect population. So we've got products, specifically our trait Viptera, which really helps reduce tillage situations. So we not only are looking at the agronomic things, but also the traits, and we can marry them up and give them to a grower, and it's a really nice combination for our growers to have.
And, you know, if you think about Syngenta and you think about Golden Harvest and what we bring to the table through the agronomic research that Steve talks about, I mean, we take a lot of pride in making sure that we have the right information available when we launch products into the marketplace. And then also, like Steve said, some of our trait packages that come along with those genetics that we launch in really match up well to what's needed in those particular areas. And so that's what we're very focused and aware of, and trying to increase the genetics that we have with those traits as well has been a big part of what we've tried to do over the last couple of years. And this year, with the product class that we just launched, we feel we've made a lot of strides in making sure that Viptera trait that Steve talked about is part of the majority of the genetics that we bring to the marketplace, which is going to be key and going to have a real impact on our no-till farmers as well as all farmers. And so that's pretty key to match up as well.
I think we have a good growing season ahead of us. It's been a different type of a winter, warm, cold, snow, adverse weather. I mean, my gosh, it was 70s and 80s in a lot of the core corn belt here this week, and a little bit cooler now, but I think as we look at the year ahead, we're probably into some extremes, but I'm optimistic about the year. Farmers have done a great job of what I call weatherproofing their farms over the years. Agronomists have really helped get them to that point. So I think we're able to withstand a lot of challenges. We saw some of that last year. Not too many people were expecting record yields coming out of 2023. So that I think our growers and our agronomists continue to learn, adapt. So I'm pretty optimistic about the year and the years ahead for us from production agriculture.
Just add on to what Steve said, but if you haven't looked at Golden Harvest lately and you have a particular in mind of what Golden Harvest was, check us out. We are not the company that we used to be. We're definitely, with genetics, we're advancing, with traits, we're advancing. Give us a check out. We feel with those practices, with our genetics, with our traits, we can return a high value to your operation. So give us a check out.